All right, guys. I am doing a pick a card reading with 6 options, and we're going to see what are the blessings, what's the good stuff on its way to you now. Now, if you happen to watch during the live stream, obviously there won't be timestamps yet because you're watching it live. But after this live streams, I'm going to go back into the description and add those timestamps in for you. All right. So I don't live stream very often, but I've been having some trouble with my phone lately. I dropped it in a bathtub of water, so that didn't help. And I can't get the stuff that I've recorded on my phone, I can't get it off onto a computer like I normally do. It won't connect, which is frustrating. So I need to try to take it back to the AT&T store and see if they can troubleshoot that for me. But in the meantime, I do have some already recorded videos that are still, you know, I have it up and ready. I just haven't published them yet. And I also thought this would be a fun, you know, just a reason to do a live stream, because live streams can be kind of interesting. So I can't really see too much of what people are posting. I'm just on my phone, not on a laptop. But as I said, there are 6 options here, so you can take a moment and figure out which option seems to be drawing your intuition the most. You might have more than one option. That's perfectly fine. Again, if you're watching during the live stream, you can just watch the whole thing. What I would do is at the beginning of each reading during the live stream, just ask yourself, is this reading meant for me? And allow yourself to hear the answer yes or no. But of course, this is all about blessings, so there might be a pertinent blessing for you in every reading. All right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and clear the table so we can get into reading number 1. All right. Oops. All right, so reading number 1. Let's see what's going on with you guys. What are the blessings coming your way? Okay, so we have Conchomancy, Seashell Divination, Wisdom of Shells. Some of you might be visiting the seaside, but I feel like for most of you, or just if you live near the ocean, maybe you're just enjoying that, enjoying the beach. But I think for a lot of you, like your intuition is going to be coming in really strong in a way that really feels like a blessing. Like you're getting the answers, you're getting the insights that you're really wanting and needing. All right. What else do we have? We have a blessing on a resolution. So I feel like, you know, I feel like these 2 cards are kind of working together. So your intuition is helping you to resolve something that's been really difficult. I'm feeling like some sort of conflict or something where you just can't get your mind off of something. You can't keep just replaying some sort of scenario or problem or conflict in your head. And I think it's been very frustrating to you. And the more you're in touch with your higher guidance, the more you're going to be able to sort of pull yourself through this, cut yourself out of this, you know, sticky situation that you've been in so that you don't feel so tangled up by it. We also have a blessing to ease loneliness and bring companionship. Some of you are going to be beginning relationships or finding a group of friends or like one really good friend, or you're just going to be feeling more like socializing than you have in the past. Or you're just finding some way to connect with other people that just makes you feel not so alone. So yeah, I mean, if you've been feeling very lonely, one of the tremendous blessings coming your way is that that loneliness is going to be cleared up. Both of these women are holding swords as well. So I just feel like clarity in general is also going to be a great blessing coming your way. I know I can see that people are typing, but I can't, the way that my camera is at, I can't really see what you all are saying. But I do appreciate everyone who is watching during the live stream. All right, finally, a blessing of protection. Yeah, some of you have really been having to stand up for yourselves against someone else. That's why I'm feeling like this conflict. And maybe it's even the conflict with someone has been making you feel lonely, like maybe you feel like nobody understands you, or nobody wants to stand up for you. You just have to stand up for yourself. But then we have a blessing of protection. I really do think that there are people who do stand up for you, and you're going to start seeing that more. And just in general, your angels are also protecting you, and I think you're going to become more aware of it, because again, we have this concomancy, which makes me think that your intuition is going to be strong. What other blessings? We have whip. Yeah, arguments, fighting, abusive, tense, repetitive. Yeah, some sort of repetitive argument or conflict. It can even be like one singular argument, but you can't get it out of your head. It's just like going over and over and over and over and over in your head. And it's just making you feel very alone, making you feel very isolated. It's really stressing you out. And I think it's been, in a way, sort of blocking your intuition, but you're going to be clearing that away. You're going to be clearing that away so that those negative thoughts, those negative clouds of thoughts that have been hanging over your head, they're not going to be having so much power over you. And you are going to regain this sense of connection to your higher self. We also have road and heart, romance. I think some of you are going to be blessed with options. Ooh, we have 11 and 22. Yeah, you're going to be feeling very spiritually and intuitively connected, but I think you're going to be feeling like you have options in terms of romance. So I did say that you could be experiencing more romance in your life, easing loneliness and bringing companionship, but it's not just one person, it's more than one option. And you get to decide, which of these people is going to be more of your heart's desire. What else do we have? We have the 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, I think you're going to be having an easier time in your workplace as well. And I think that for some of you, that may actually have been the source of some of this conflict or turmoil. Not for everybody, of course, but things are going to calm down, and you're going to start feeling more like you can really focus on what you're meant to be doing in life. Whether this is your actual paid work, whether this is your life purpose work, which may or may not be paid. But I feel like you can kind of cut through the nonsense that you've been dealing with and just focus on the good stuff. And that in and of itself is a blessing, that just to have your head clear of all of this nonsense. Let's see here. We have Crossroads, and then we have 8 of Cups reverse coming up underneath it. What is this trying to tell us? Yeah, I feel like you guys have been going through some difficult stuff, and maybe you have been feeling like you would never get over it. Like the difficult times, you just felt like the difficult times were never going to end, and you almost felt like it didn't really matter which path you took in life, that it was going to hurt either way. Some of you have felt like you had to leave behind difficult, painful situations, but you're almost like, I'm at this crossroads in life just in general. And I feel like I want to take a different direction, but I don't feel like I can trust that there's something better out there. I do feel like you're going to start seeing the point of things changing as they are. And you are going to start seeing the benefit and the blessing in moving forward from this pain. You're going to start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's going to start making more sense to you. This journey that you're on is going to start making more sense. And part of it is that you just have to choose happiness. I know that sounds simple, but happiness really is a choice. I know it sounds very trite, and you know what? That's something that I struggle with as well, and that I have struggled with throughout my life. And so I totally understand that mindset. Sometimes it just seems like, well, some people get to be happy, but I'm not one of those people. And that isn't the case. Everyone has the opportunity to be happy. And you have to start choosing it more and more often. Every morning when you wake up, say, today I'm going to choose to imbue my life with greater happiness. I'm going to choose to involve myself in thoughts and activities which create happiness for me. In the psychotherapy world, it's called positive events. You just add in more positive events in your life on a day-to-day basis. It sounds kind of simple, but when someone is going through depression, and it looks like you all have been through some emotional hardship here, even just doing something fun for yourself can seem like too much of a struggle. So I would just say, one of the blessings is that you're going to start learning how to bring more happiness and joy into your life. And you're just going to be having so much greater clarity once you can kind of clear out the negativity from your life. And I do see that coming up for you more as well. We also have the Queen of Swords reversed. I think some of you may have been actually choosing to be single because you feel more protected that way. You're like, I really just don't want to have anything to do with anybody in terms of romance. But I feel like that energy might be dissipating a little bit. I think your heart might be opening up a little bit. And I also feel that you might be having forgiveness for someone who has hurt you in the past romantically. That doesn't mean reuniting, and that doesn't mean that that's necessarily good for you. I mean, you are your own best guide as far as that goes. But I think that the blessing is just that feeling of relief when you can forgive someone and let go of a situation that was so hurtful for you. We also have projections. I feel like you're going to start seeing that whoever this is that you've been having so much conflict with, that it's been hard for you to get it out of your mind, I think you're going to start seeing that really honestly, this person's behavior towards you had absolutely nothing to do with you anyway. They're projecting a lot of stuff onto you, and it may be hard to see this as a blessing, and you might start seeing that you're projecting quite a bit onto them as well. But I think that recognition of, oh, okay, here we are just being two humans who don't see each other clearly, that allows you to sort of like let go of it more. This whole thing, this conflict, it was just an illusion anyway. We also get existence reversed. Yeah, I think that, again, this is about like choosing happiness. You've been resisting happiness at some level. There's some part of you, conscious or unconscious, that's not feeling worthy of this kind of happiness. You're looking at all of these stars. It's like, again, you're seeing other people enjoying their lives, and you're thinking, well, that's for them. It's not for me. I can't ever be out there among the stars. I'm just here, lonely, little isolated me, sitting on this leaf, But the blessing is that I feel like you're going to be inspired soon to sort of turn that around more, so that you can start realizing, yes, I do deserve those blessings. I do deserve that beautiful life that I see other people having, and I'm going to choose to have that beautiful life. We also get friendship reversed here. That's coming up along with protection and the Queen of Swords reversed. I do see that you're going to have more companionship, and that may be in the form of friendship. That might be more romance, or it might be a little bit of both. I feel like with this coming up with a blessing of protection, you're going to start seeing, again, there's a lot of clarity. I feel like one of your major blessings that's coming up is just greater clarity, and just cutting through anxiety partly is what brings that greater clarity. For you guys, you're going to have better discernment when it comes to friendships. When it comes to people in general, you're going to see better, like, does this person's energy blend with my energy or not? And if not, I don't have to judge that person. I don't have to view them as an enemy. I can just say, well, that person isn't meant to be my friend per se, but they don't need to be an enemy. And it's kind of like, we are all on different wavelengths. That doesn't mean that one person's wavelength is better than somebody else's wavelength. It means that the wavelength that you are currently on is the best wavelength for you in terms of what you are currently creating in your life at this moment. That's the wavelength that best supports that. So if you want greater happiness, you're going to have to jump up to a happiness wavelength. And some people are just not on your wavelength. Again, that's no judgment on them. It's just that their wavelength is the best wavelength for them when it comes to them fulfilling whatever it is that they are currently manifesting and fulfilling in their life. And you don't have to be caught up in what other people are doing with their lives. If someone's wavelength is not the same as yours, you can just recognize, well, this is a different person with a different wavelength. And again, I don't have to bring this person into my life because I want to be drawing towards me people who are on the same wavelength as me. And if somebody is not, again, that doesn't make them an enemy. It simply means they're not someone who I need to like form some sort of close friendship or bond with. And I can let that go. You know, you don't have to like everyone you meet. And that doesn't mean that they're not a good person, you know, and that doesn't mean that you're not a good person. A lot of times we can feel like, gosh, if I don't like somebody, does that make me a bad person? Does that mean that I'm mean? Am I being mean by not liking them? No, it means that you're human and we're not all going to like each other. Likewise, if someone doesn't like you, that doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person or that you're unlikable. It just means that particular person does not like you. And I feel like you're going to be blessed with just being more able to let go of that and have greater clarity and discernment about who's right for you, who's not. It's just letting go of all of this toxic energy that's been kind of weighing you down. All right, for everyone who chose reading number 1, I hope that that really helped you. And let me go ahead and move on here now to reading number 2. If you're watching during the stream, just take a moment to get in touch with your intuition and ask yourself, is reading number 2 for me or not for me? You can continue to watch, of course, either way. But just ask yourself, is this reading for me or not? Of course, you can stick around and watch either way. We've got 6 options, so we're just on number 2. All right, people who chose reading number 2, ooh, freedom, independence, self-determination. So you're going to be feeling like you just don't give a you-know-what anyone thinks about you and your life. You're going to be feeling like you have the freedom to make whatever choice you need to make. You're not going to be restricted, and you're loving it. You're very much in a very fiery personality. I see you dressing exactly how you want to dress, not worried what other people think of you. This is great. What else do we have here? A blessing for unity where once there was division. So I feel like you might be repairing some sort of connection you've had with someone where there was conflict. Again, that can be any kind of relationship, family, friend, romantic, coworker, anybody. A blessing to bring clarity. So this is a lot like number 1 in terms of the clarity, I guess. Yeah, I think you're going to be able to, just see whatever this division was between you and someone else. You're going to be seeing that so much more clearly, and it makes you feel free. You're like, oh, I don't have to be bogged down by that anymore. I don't have to feel so nasty about that anymore. I can let it go. I can be free of that conflict. A blessing on your creativity. I feel like you're going to be very artistic, and I think other people are going to be noticing that. That's also what I'm seeing. Like, people are really going to be appreciating your talents. And that may or may not be artistic, but everyone has talents. Everyone has things that they're particularly good at, and you're really going to be shining. People are going to be seeing that about you. And if it's something you've been holding back where you're afraid of showing people what these talents are, you're not going to be afraid of that anymore. You're going to be free also of any sort of restrictions, including, shyness. There's just going to be so much harmony, and we have the Archer coming up. So we have like a double hit here in terms of freedom. This is like, to me, very Sagittarian type energy. So yeah, I feel like you are really going to know where you're going in life. And that in and of itself makes you feel so free because just knowing what direction you want to take in life and knowing that nobody can hold you back from taking that direction, that feels like such a beautiful gift. And I feel like, as well, like for those of you who are very creative or self expressive, you're going to be connecting to other people with whatever that is, whatever your form of self expression is going to be connecting you to other human beings in a way that is making you feel very harmonious. It's making you feel very appreciated. And I think you all have some sort of talent, some gift that's been developing over a long time. This is something that you're going to be known for. That you're going to leave some sort of legacy related to this talent or gift. And I think it's something that's been brewing, it's been marinating and ripening. And I think it's a gift or talent that you have experienced in multiple lifetimes. This isn't the first time that you've done this, not the first lifetime that you've done this. And so you're just naturally very gifted at whatever this is. And I think some of you are just starting to step out of the shadows and show other people how talented that you actually are. Other people may have been doing it for a while, but there's going to be more of a burst of that. You're definitely going to be noticed more for whatever this is. And you're going to be known for it, Okay, we have the High Priestess reversed. I actually feel like for you guys, a blessing for you is that you're not getting, even your intuition, what your gut instincts are, or like relying on divination and that sort of thing, like you're not even going to be letting that hold you back anymore. You're like, I don't need to consult divination to make my choices in life. I know I already have clarity about where I want to go in life. So I'm not even restricted by that anymore. I'm already in touch with my highest self. I feel like that's the blessing. You're not going to feel bound to anything. Nobody can pull you in and make you do anything that you don't want to do. Nobody can choose your path for you right now. You are just completely free and unrestricted in all possible ways. And it's a beautiful thing, a wonderful blessing. Yeah, back to like sharing your talents, sharing your gifts. Like I think that you've been maybe focused on the wrong things, like you've been having doubt, or maybe you've tried to share this with people before and they just haven't got it, or it doesn't feel like they're appreciating whatever you're sharing. You've been focused too much on that, or even in your mind, you're just expecting people to not like this. And I see that energy dissipating because we have the Five of Cups reversed, and you're realizing, wait, I have so much to offer and there's no reason why I can't, like look at this guy. He's so sorrowful, but if he just moves forward, he can cross this bridge over to this castle. There's so much good awaiting him in his future. And I feel like that's what's happening for you guys when you start being willing to take the risk of being seen and expressing yourself, showing who you truly are, showing all of the wonderful talents that God has given you. Then you're going to start seeing like, I have such a beautiful life and I have such a beautiful future. And it's because I was willing to take a risk on myself. I was willing to risk putting myself out there, and look how much good came of that. Okay, you have possibilities reversed. Yeah, again, with the High Priestess reversed, I feel like you just don't, you're not getting bogged down in weighing the possibilities. Like maybe in the past you've been thinking like, what's best for me? Should I go this way? Should I go that way? And I just feel like you don't have to ask those questions anymore. You just know. You just know without consulting your intuition, without going to tarot or pick a card readings. Look, we have this, it's an eagle, right? Like this eagle is soaring freely. It's not restricted. You have this very lofty perspective on your life. That's what I'm seeing as your blessing. And it's bringing so much passion. It's like igniting you towards achieving all of your dreams and like feeling untethered. Nothing is going to hold you back anymore. We have past lives reversed. This is the moon card reversed. I feel like you've had some difficult karma. You know, we have the devil reversed and the moon reversed. Some difficult karma with probably more than one person relating to past lives. I just can't get the lighting just right. I hope y'all can see clearly. And I feel like that is lifting. This karma is lifting. Let's see, what is it? How are they going to tell? How are they going to know when the karma is lifting? Just that you feel less restricted, I think, is mainly what it is. Yeah. Like you feel the love more easily and you don't have to get bogged down. It's like you're not worried about how anyone feels. You're knowing your own happiness. And you're like, not that you're not empathetic for how anyone feels, but someone's feelings towards you are not going to dictate your own mood because you're just choosing to be happy. Again, unrestricted, you know? I'm not restricted by any karmic ties that I have to anyone. I don't need this sort of emotional validation regarding how anyone else feels about me. Wow. And then we have consciousness. You just have so much awareness. Like, it's sort of like, you know, we talked about your talents, your gifts, your self-expression that you're sharing with the world, and you're achieving some, or you're getting some sort of recognition for that. It brings you some sort of spiritual awareness. It isn't just self-expression. It isn't just artistic or what, you know, speaking your mind or whatever, sharing, you know, being the truth of who you are. It's much more than that. It's you just really being in touch with the divine within you, knowing the truth of who you really are, that you are an aspect of the divine, and so you have the power to create your best life. You have the power to fulfill your greatest visions for who you wish to be. And you're also seeing it isn't just about the future. It's right now you're the best. Right now you're the best of who you can be. In this very moment, you're appreciating all of who you are right now. And knowing, because you're such a wonderful person with so many talents to share and bless the world with, that it's just going to be a snowball effect that of course will create even more wonderful fortune for you as you move forward in life. So people who chose number 2, thank you for watching. Those are the blessings that I see for you. Let me go ahead and move on to number 3. If you are watching this during the live stream, just take a moment and ask yourself, is number 3 meant for me? Is number 3 meant for me? All right, and so if number 3 is meant for you, for everyone who chose this reading, let's see, what are your blessings? What are the blessings coming to you? Some of these blessings might already be here. We have experiments, manipulation of nature, forcing change, cruelty in the pursuit of knowledge, and arrogance. So how is this a blessing? This is a number 33 card. I'm kind of feeling like I feel like the blessing here is that you're seeing that, and we have a 3 here as well. I think that something is coming to a conclusion about someone who has hurt you, and I think that you're you're kind of seeing the situation a little bit more clearly now. This person may have said some things or done some things that were very hurtful. They were very cold. I feel like this was someone who is extremely cold, came across as very foreboding. Like it just seemed like they didn't even care about how you felt, and it made you feel so miserable. It kind of seems like whatever this is coming to some sort of rapid conclusion. If someone has ghosted you, I feel like they're going to be speaking up now. I think that them speaking up is a blessing because it kind of cuts out some of this shadowy aspect here where things are unknown. Um, and it helps you to understand maybe more like why they were so cold and so distant. But I also just feel like the completion of a cycle. You might also be realizing that this person cared for you much more than they ever let on. So that's a blessing. Let's see what else comes up, though, because this is a little bit of a complex blessing. So let's see what else we got going on here. A blessing for a fresh start. Yeah, so, I mean, some of you, she's holding a broom. So some of you might be clearing away some gunk from the past where it just felt like someone was being manipulative, cold, and cruel. And now you can see a little bit more clearly that this previous perception of who they were may not have been quite correct. And you might at least be considering a fresh start with them. And I think, you know, it's a consideration, right? But I think it's a blessing just to understand the situation more clearly, for things to not be quite so shrouded in mystery as what they have been. A blessing of the air. Yeah, definitely some sort of communication is happening with someone. And like I said, I feel like it's someone who's like ghosted you or who has seemed sort of distant or cold. And so it's communication, I feel, is the blessing. Because it's like a real gust of cold air, you know, it really wakes you up because there are some things that you haven't been seeing. You've been asleep to certain things about this person. And although their communication, I think it will come in very unexpected, and they still might not communicate it very well. It's still going to be like a breath of fresh air, as I said, because it'll make you happy. I think it'll make you happy. It'll at least make you consider maybe having a fresh start with them. But I think the greatest blessing, of course, is that you have the choice ultimately, right? Of what you want to do with this communication when it does come in. We also get a blessing for a mother. If you've been wanting to be a mother, I feel like that opportunity is very ripe for you. So I feel like your fertility is very strong. Or the opportunities for a likely partner who you could become a mother with are going to present themselves to you. If you're not interested in being a mother, then you might be having a really great relationship with your mother, or feeling that someone is acting in a way that's very nurturing and consoling and makes you feel loved the way that a mother would. Let me see what the other, because there are lots of different situations people can be in with their mother. Or related to them in relation to a mother. Maybe, I think some of you have been fearful of being a mother, and I think that you're going to be able to work through some of that fear more. If your mother has passed on, I think this is just, you know, an acknowledgement that she's loving you. And even if you had a difficult relationship with her when she was alive, you know, when people pass on to the other side, not necessarily automatically, but people do gain a higher understanding. People generally do feel apologetic. They recognize that their behaviors were not as they wished that they would be. So if that's your situation, I think that's also what's coming through. What else could this mean? A blessing for a mother. If you currently are a mother, I feel like your relationships to your children are going to be very strong. They're going to be strengthened. So that's going to be a blessing for you. You're going to feel like you're understanding each other really well, and that the bond is a very loving bond. You're going to feel very connected in a very loving way to your children. We also have Firefly, illumination, chemistry, inner fire, soul spark, someone very exceptional, magic, and attraction. So yeah, some sort of love interest of yours who has hurt you and been quite cold is going to be communicating with you, and it's going to be clearing the air. I think it will be quite unexpected. But yeah, it does reunite that spark that you felt for that person. The spark is definitely reignited. There's a chemistry there. And so I think it just feels nice to feel and kind of know more fully that yes, this person did care more than what they let on. And it's possible. It feels good to know that it's possible for a fresh start. But again, I feel like with this kind of situation, probably it's better to take your time. We also have yarn. I think you've been sort of tangled up. This has been a very complicated situation with whoever this romantic interest is, who's going to be finally communicating after so long. It's been very confusing to you. It may have been feeling like it's holding you back in certain ways. And so I feel like you're feeling less confused, obviously. And you don't feel like you're held up anymore about those unanswered questions. And then we have Owl reversed. Secrets lifted. Let's see, why is this reversed? Empress. Empress coming up underneath the Mother. Yeah, there's something to do with Mother, like I said, or an opportunity to become a mother for some of you, or an opportunity to either reconnect with your mother or realize that there's a very strong, loving bond with your children. But, I think if it's about fertility, your own fertility, like there's something that you don't quite see, like even now, part of the blessing or the opportunity still isn't quite open for you to see. You're not meant to see all of it. But yeah, definitely something to do with being a mother, and I feel like it's going to make you feel very happy and fulfilled, whatever that is. And I know I'm switching back and forth just in the way that I'm doing this reading, but whoever this love interest is who's going to unexpectedly communicate with you and clear the air, you do feel like there's a blessing for a fresh start, but also it's like there's a chance to continue to get to know each other because they're still, they're going to communicate some things that you've been wondering about. So they are going to answer certain questions, but not all of the questions are going to be answered. And so I feel like you still feel uncertain about what the real potential is. Even in this picture, it's sort of like it says a blessing for a fresh start, but she's still kind of like looking like, is it time to move in that direction? I'm not sure, I'm still uncertain. But I think it's a good position to be in, to know that there is this potential, and that's why it's a blessing. Because I feel like this person is finally sort of opening up to you in a way that allows you to see more clearly whether or not you can continue to move forward. We have abundance. Yeah. I mean, I feel like this person is going to come across as way more loving than what they have before because in the past, you're seeing them as like this, like it looks like a Death Eater, like sucking your soul out of you or something like, but this is the number 33, which is a very loving, abundant number. It is a good number when it comes to interpersonal relationships. And I think finally you're going to be seeing that more clearly about this person. I mean, you've seen it at some level or you wouldn't have been attracted to them, right? But they're going to be showing you that more. They're going to be seeming much more friendly. Yeah, but we have adventure reverse. You're going to see it much more friendly, and I think there's hope and optimism, but cautious hope and optimism. But I think it's, whatever you may choose, it's fine because I feel like you're just happy to kind of know more that you weren't wrong to be attracted to this person. Like I think you were doubting, like, why am I even attracted to this a-hole who's like acting like a cold Death Eater, like why would I even want that energy in my life? And then we have stress. Some of you have been very stressed out, either because you're wanting to have a child and you're not thinking it's going to happen, or you're dealing with children and you're like, oh my God, these kids are always, stressing me out and getting in my way, or, whatever it is. I feel like that stress is going to be alleviated more. You're going to be seeing more of the blessings related to motherhood. And, whatever this message is, of course, there are many variations of it depending on who you are, what you're wanting out of life. But I think in general, like, you're going to be feeling less stressed. You're going to be letting go of some of these burdens. You're going to be realizing I don't really have to juggle quite as much as what I've been juggling. You're going to be figuring it out. Yeah, more juggling. I kind of feel like if you are a mother, like, I think that you're going to be teaching your children how to take on greater levels of responsibility, so that you don't have to take on so much, And I think that they're actually going to be more receptive to learning that than what you've been thinking. Or maybe more receptive to learning that than they have in the past. But, if they haven't been doing their chores, maybe you have taught them how to do certain chores, but they just don't always do them. I think you're going to be starting to see improvement, and it comes at the right time, because I feel like you're kind of like at your wit's end a little bit, like you're like, oh my God, guys, I've got so much going on. I can't do all of this. You're going to have to chip in a little bit. But for those of you wanting to be a mother, I think the stress is being alleviated by realizing that any sort of health restrictions or anything that you have felt like has been holding you back from that possibility of motherhood, it's starting to seem like that's clearing up, and you're starting to see like, okay, this really could happen. This blessing of having a child that you've been wanting, you're starting to recognize that blessing is being fulfilled, or it's on its way to being fulfilled. All right, so for everyone who chose reading number 3, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you around. Let me go ahead and move on to number 4. If you're watching this during the live stream, I've just been asking people to kind of think to yourself for a moment, is reading number 4 for me or not for me? But then if you're going to watch anyway, I think you'll kind of know when you hear the messages. It'll kind of click for you if this is meant for you or not. All right, so for everyone who chose reading number 4, what are your blessings? What's the good stuff? We have the return of Aphrodite, temple birth of the goddess, guidance, goddess energy, treating as sacred. I feel like you guys are going to be feeling really just good looking, like, you're going to be feeling very happy. You're just going to be feeling beautiful. Whatever it is that you like to do to make yourself feel good about the way you look, you're just going to be gorgeous. People are going to be complimenting you, your hair, your makeup, if you're someone who wears makeup, whatever it is you like to do. And I think you're just going to be feeling good in your body, like you're going to be feeling good about the way that your body looks. And I think you're going to be just having more fun in life. Let's see what else. A blessing on a home. So some of you, maybe you're getting a new home, or you're beautifying, you're decorating your home, and you're just loving the way that your home looks. Let's see what else this could be. This is one of those where I feel like it could be a lot of different things. Some of you might be ending a relationship, but it's actually for the best. You don't feel alone. You feel like you're exactly where you need to be in life. You're like, no judgment, but I'm happier now. Yeah. Maybe you've put off making the decision maybe it's a relationship for some of you. For some of you, it's like, I've been thinking about moving for a while, and when I finally made the choice and stopped, saying, should I move? Should I not move? When you finally make that choice, I feel like it's going to be obvious to you that, yes, that's exactly what you should have done, or should have been doing, or should be doing now. A blessing on a home and a blessing on a homecoming. So some of you are going to be visiting home, where you grew up, your roots, your family, and that's going to be very blessed. Of course, for a lot of people, holidays are coming up where you would naturally be doing that. And I think it's going to go very well, because a lot of times, I don't know about you guys, sometimes I wonder, like, when I'm going home, I'm like, my family is not that stressful, but you're like, is this going to go well? Is it not going to go well? But I think for you, it's going to be very well. When you're visiting your home, your roots, your family, it's going to definitely feel like a major blessing. Also a blessing of forgiveness. Either you're finally at the point where you can forgive someone else, or you're feeling like someone can finally forgive you and you're like, oh, thank goodness, like that's a relief lifted. Also, I just feel like you guys, your hair is going to be looking really excellent, You're going to have some beautiful looking hair. And you're just going to be having good hair days all the time. That's a blessing. Stepping stones, the process of arrival. Yeah, I feel like, again, like some of you are moving or traveling and you feel like you've arrived at the place where you've meant to be all along. Also, like I sense a glow up. There's the process of arrival in terms of like some sort of glow up that you're experiencing. You're just feeling very beautiful. We also have waterfall, flood of emotions. I feel like if you've been having some difficult emotions, or if you've been afraid that going home is going to bring up too many emotions that you're not prepared for, because we have tears or sorrow, tears of sorrow or joy. I feel like the emotions are not going to be as strong as what you think. They're going to be pleasant. The emotions that you do have when you, either about your move or about visiting home and family, your emotions are going to be very pleasant, but they're also going to be very stable and serene. There's nothing that's going to overwhelm you regarding your emotions. And we have loons, deep commitment, family again, reawaken lost hopes. Yeah, I think some of you are going to be forgiving certain family members, or they're going to be forgiving you, or all of the above. And you're going to realize that, these people, we're not so different after all. And these are important. These are bonds that are very important to me. Maybe I've sort of lost hope, you're feeling. But I think that hope is going to be reawakened. That yes, you can have harmonious relationships with your family member, or they can be more harmonious than they've been. If you generally have good relationships with your family, it can be even better than what you thought. Even more loving, even more supportive. Yeah, definitely a feeling of returning. It's like you're finding yourself. You're realizing who you've really been all along. I'm reminded, the book, The Ugly Duckling, where, this duckling, it thinks it's a duckling anyway. Later we find out that it's a swan, of course, but it's surrounded by these other ducks. This little duck family takes it in, and it thinks that it looks so strange compared to all of the other ducks, and it thinks so poorly about itself. And then when it grows up, it grows up and it's this beautiful swan, and it's swimming along with its duck family. And then it realizes, oh, I'm a swan, like I wasn't ugly. I was just different. So I feel like you're just reconnecting with that part of yourself that always loved yourself anyway. It's like you're letting go of this nonsense about being ugly. And that's sort of what's bringing the glow up. You might physically be looking better, but I think part of it is just it's this inner glow of really loving yourself more. I think a lot of the blessings that you're going to be experiencing as well are things that you've already been working hard on. You've been working on improving your life in certain ways, and you're just going to start seeing the rewards of that. Like the harvest is coming in. You've put in all of the effort, and you're going to start seeing all of those efforts paying off. I feel like some of you have been making some real consistent efforts towards improving your career or your finances. For others of you, it's going to be about improving your health. Maybe it's about improving relationships with your family or healing patterns, familial patterns that needed to be healed. But you've been really working on self-improvement, maybe in multiple areas of your life. You've been taking one step at a time towards that. And you're really, this whole spread is so beautiful and uplifting. I feel like you're just going to be feeling really good about life. You're just going to be focused on the positive, seeing the positive in everything, seeing the beauty in yourself. Oh, and we have the Tower card. What's that about? Let's see here. What's the Tower card? I think maybe it's just okay. I feel like you've been offering love to someone, and you're going to see like some sort of sudden shift in that person because that person has felt very closed off to you. This may be, I think, probably a family member. It could be anyone, but this person has been very closed off to you. It's like you've tried to be nice to this person, and you're not understanding why they're not receptive to you because all you've ever done is be nice to them. And I feel like the Tower card is not necessarily a bad thing. I know the imagery looks pretty rough, but sometimes it's just like this lightning bolt of enlightenment where you just are really understanding something more fully. Because we have the 10 of Wands reversed. I feel like you're realizing that, a lot of what's been going on with this person, you've been offering your cup of kindness to them, is just they're carrying some sort of burden that you have not been quite aware of. I think you're going to be shocked maybe when you realize what this burden is, what this person has been carrying on their shoulders without telling anyone. They've been keeping some secret about some really difficult hardship they've been experiencing. They've been keeping that to themselves. And I feel like, you're going to just understand much more fully why they've been resistant to your kindness, that it doesn't even have anything really to do with you. And I think that's where this forgiveness comes in, this blessing of forgiveness, that you're going to realize, wow, this person's really been carrying a lot on their shoulders and not even asking for help. Maybe they didn't even feel worthy of it, or they just didn't want to burden anyone else with it. And so they just decide to sort of push everyone away. I feel like for a lot of you, this is like a father or a grandfather figure, maybe an uncle even. And yeah, like you always just felt like, that person deserves love, but I don't know why they don't seem to be accepting my love and kindness. And they've just been holding on to some really tremendous burden. And I feel like once they're willing to admit what's going wrong, or once you find it out, it brings a lot of happiness. It kind of pulls the family together in a way. And I think the family can kind of see like this is something that collectively we can get through, and nobody has to bear this burden on their own. And, I feel like it brings you a lot of joy because I really feel like you do care deeply about this person. You keep offering them this cup of love, right? And you're like, why are they so cold to me? Why are they acting like that? But then once this awareness comes out, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. And like I said, I feel like the family just kind of teams up to sort of support this person. And everything's going to be all right. I feel like whatever this burden they've been carrying, it is a difficult burden, but it's not something that can't be shouldered together collectively, and everything will be okay. It will be fine. I think it's going to be very intense, though. I mean, we had the Tower card, but it's going to be intense in a difficult ways and not so difficult ways. I mean, you know, we're talking here about blessings, but sometimes blessings come to us in very unexpected ways. You know, it's like, I almost hesitate to use this as an example, but I feel like it's a good one for what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, when there's like some sort of natural disaster or any sort of like big traumatic event that happens, it brings people together in a way, you know, and like it's a blessing to see the humanity in people. And yeah, it sucks that it takes something difficult for people to pull together. And I'm not saying that it necessarily that's what it takes for your family to come together, but I feel like that's the blessing, is just seeing like how much you all do really love each other, because you are willing to work together to support someone who is going through a difficult time, because you realize that that person doesn't deserve to be going through this alone. And finally, we have traveling reverse. This is the Eight of Wands reversed. I pulled it away, but earlier when I was clarifying, I pulled the Eight of Wands. So traveling is reversed, coming up under the new home. I just kind of feel like the process is not as difficult as what you thought, you know, because this traveling card, it's cloudy, it's kind of overcast. We're looking at mountains here. Yeah, it's sort of a beautiful landscape, but if you had to be traveling along this beautiful landscape, it might be a little bit difficult. So I'm just feeling like whatever this move, if you're moving to a new home, or you're just moving on in life, moving on up in life, it's not going to be as difficult as what maybe you've been foreseeing it to be. Definitely a theme of return. Yeah. Yeah, and we did see earlier that some of you might be moving on from a relationship, and the blessing is that this person is not moving on with you. And in other words, the blessing is that you're finding your own way in life and putting down roots on your own, and understanding that you are fully capable of doing that. You don't need this other person traveling along your path with you anymore. That doesn't mean that you have to have any sort of negativity. I don't feel that. I feel like there's still mutual respect here, but you're capable of moving on and understanding that you're worthy of that. You're worthy of making that choice. All right. So thank you so much for people who chose reading number 4. I'm going to go ahead and move on to number 5. If you're watching during the live stream, just ask yourself, is number 5 meant for me, or is it not? All right, so let's get started. For everyone who is choosing number 5, we have honor the masculine, respecting men, embracing the masculine divine. So if you are a masculine, then I feel like you're going to be feeling very respected, and you're going to be feeling very in touch with your divinity. You're going to be honoring yourself. If you are a feminine, I feel like you're going to be experiencing some really divine masculine energy, and like masculine energy that is very uplifting and supportive and loving. You're going to be seeing the best of the men in your life. A blessing for support. Yeah, I feel like you're either going to be really feeling like a hero, or you're going to be feeling like somebody is being your hero for you. And that's a tremendous blessing. You feel very supported, or you're feeling like you have the strength to really be there to support someone else, and that's making you feel really good about yourself. We have a blessing to bring prosperity. So yeah, I mean, that one's sort of self-explanatory. I feel like you're going to be very prosperous, but also more importantly, like you're going to be you're recognizing your prosperity more. Where should I put that? Like she doesn't, I mean, she's prosperous, right? But does she have anything, like she's not living in a mansion? She's not driving a Lamborghini. She's not wearing a $2,000 Gucci shirt, like she's got a bowl of apples and a cute little outfit somehow made of a tree. I don't know, she's got her own version of prosperity. She understands that she is supported by Mother Earth. She's supported by life. And she's just feeling good about herself and feeling really healthy. So it's understanding, the prosperity that is inherent even in the simplest things in life. And sometimes the simple things are really the greatest blessings. We also have a blessing on your sleep. Now, if you're someone who struggles with insomnia, this will be a relief to hear. But I think you're going to be having sweet dreams. Because we have the owl here, I also feel like you guys are going to have messages coming to you in your dreams. So you need to pay attention to those and try to understand what the guidance is. I think that whatever guidance is coming through, it also will be some sort of source of relief for you. You'll be having happy dreams, I feel like. Eagle, challenging the status quo, opportunity, new hope, perspective, clear vision. Yeah, I feel like you're going to be really seeing the true overview of your life. I think you're going to understand how to take control of your life. Some of you are just going to be really thinking ahead too, like creating the best possible vision, like where do I want to go in life? What do I really want to do with myself? Because I feel like there is this feeling of kind of wanting to be a hero for some of you, wanting to like influence the world in a very positive way. But, maybe you haven't always been quite hopeful about whether or not you would be successful, or like that, humanity as a whole would be successful about bringing about some sort of vision that you are hoping for. But I think that you're able to kind of see the way more clearly. And I feel like it really brings you a lot of peace. So we have the magnifying glass. I think that for whatever this vision is you have, I think you're consulting with other people, or like, doing some sort of research, getting information that will help you to fulfill whatever this life purpose goal is of yours, because you're very intent on being victorious. I feel like you have a strong need to really help other people, to bring prosperity to other people. Some of you have been having some worries about the world, the well-being, the state of the world as a whole, of humanity, of the many problems that exist within the world, and you haven't been sleeping well, partly because of that. You've been kept up at night because you're, feeling like the world is in shambles. But I feel like you are, just like I said, you're seeing things more clearly so that you can have new hope, like a more hopeful vision of things. You're realizing that, yes, it is possible to have a better world. And we have the swan reversed. I think some of you, I really get the feeling like a lot of you are just feeling extremely content. It's not that you're not open to a soulmate experience or a twin flame experience or just any kind of romantic relationship, but you're like, I just feel at peace. If you're watching and you're single, I feel like you guys are just feeling really at peace with where you are in life. And maybe it's the first time that you felt that way ever, or it's the first time you felt that way in a long time, and it's like, it's like you can breathe a sigh of relief. I feel like, this is, this reading is for me. Like, that's how I feel lately. I'm like, I don't need anybody. I feel really whole and complete with myself. Doesn't mean that I wouldn't be open to it. But yeah, it is so profound to feel that way when you've almost never felt that way. So I feel like that's a major blessing coming your all's way. Yes, some of you are definitely feeling new hope when it comes to injustices that you're seeing in the world. And you are thinking that, there is a way forward. It's been pretty daunting, but you are feeling like, as I said before, a better world is possible. Yes. Yeah, you're having greater clarity about that. Like, I don't know how to put this. Like, I think you're realizing that worrying about it isn't really contributing to solving these problems. So you're ready to lay down the worrying and just get back to the big vision, clarifying the goals of, bringing equality, shared prosperity, peace, equal opportunities for everyone, regardless of who they are and what their identity is or where they're from or what their religion is. You're realizing that being so stressed out and worried is not really helping the problem. So I feel like you're feeling kind of like you're in sort of a fresh start as it relates to those sorts of things. Yeah. And I feel like we had this Ace of Pentacles coming up under prosperity. I feel like you're realizing that you've planted some really good seeds and they're already bearing fruit. And you're also realizing that some of the seeds you've planted are like ginormous trees, like you're not going to see the fruits of those efforts for years now, but you're so hopeful. You're like, wow, when I do see the fruits of what I've planted, this is going to be tremendous. Like this is no small potatoes. It's like you've planted those beans from Jack and the Beanstalk, and before you know it, you're going to be climbing up and finding your golden goose, maybe without all of the drama of being chased by a giant in the process. But you're seeing kind of like, wow, I'm already blessed now, but I'm planting things now that are really going to, in the long term, really bring so many blessings, not only to myself, but to other people. And I feel like you're feeling just really good about that. Yeah, we have aloneness, the Hermit reversed. I also feel like, to me, this is again connected to this sort of, social justice, activism, bringing the world back into balance. You're going to realize that you're not so alone in that battle. And that also is going to help you have more clarity and more hope. There are other people who care. I mean, surely you know this already, but I think sometimes we can get so bogged down in negativity about the state of the world as it currently is. And even people sometimes who I've experienced this myself in the activism that I've done in my life. But like sometimes even people who are working towards the same goals can still really disagree and not get along with each other, and that can make you feel very alone and isolated. And it's like, how are we gonna ever improve anything if we're not even getting along with each other? So I feel like that sort of thing for you guys who chose reading number 5, you're going to be able to get past that. Yeah, the outsider reverse. Just in general, like you're realizing you're not blocked out of any sort of happiness. This is also the 5 of Pentacles. You're really recognizing that it's only your own cleverness, your own ingenuity that you need in order to access this beautiful life. You know, this kid, he feels locked out, but he could, you know, easily climb over this fence. It's not that tall. He gives a little leg up here onto this bar and then climb over. And I think that's what you're realizing as well. Like, you know, maybe life has been a little bit daunting to you when it comes to prosperity. You've had some struggles, and you're starting to realize, you know what, I have more of a leg up in life when it comes to achieving prosperity than I thought I did. And finally, we have integration, which is the Temperance card. You know, we had this swan reversed. Again, when it comes to, and here's a swan here. I think when it comes to relationships, you know, again, it's you're feeling very content with yourself as you are, not needing anyone for your happiness. But you're also realizing you want to find, you know, like your real balance. You want this yin and yang, like a real spiritual, harmonious coming together of souls. And so you don't need to be desperate for anything because you're knowing what you're worth. And in the meantime, you're finding that balance within yourself. You know, you're being your own best partner, you know. You don't need anyone to complete you. You are complete already. And it's just such a beautiful moment for you, like such a beautiful inspirational moment for you to finally be feeling that way. I really feel also that you guys are just very strongly connected to your spirituality. You're strongly connected to the divine and to living out your life's purpose right now. It's almost like that matters more to you right now anyway. You know, if the right person came along who had this same high vibrational energy that you had, who could really match your energy and really offer you something that would, you know, that would be right for you, you'd be open to it. But in the meantime, you have these real strong spiritual aspirations. And I think that that in and of itself is just bringing you so much happiness and joy. And again, just this sense of purpose. All right, so thank you for people who chose reading number 5. Let me go ahead and move on to our last reading, which is reading number 6. If you're watching during the live stream, just ask yourself, is reading number 6 a reading that is meant for me? And just listen to what your intuition is telling you. So for everyone who chose reading number 6, what are the blessings coming your way? We have Song of the Siren, the call, the summoning, the voice to acknowledge. If you're a singer or someone who is a speaker or uses your voice, I feel like you're going to be finding tremendous opportunities. For the rest of you, I feel like you're just going to be summoning attention to yourself in some way. You're going to be acknowledged. People are going to be acknowledging you for all of what you have to offer. Like you're going to be getting some sort of accolades. People are going to be paying attention to you. You're going to be rocking the boat, but in some sort of beautiful way that gets people to really pay attention to you. We have a blessing on a friendship, so I feel like you're going to be seeing improvements in your life as it comes to friendships. And for a lot of you, because we have this unicorn, I think that maybe you feel like nobody is really like you, that there aren't people like you out there. You're going to be finding these like-minded souls, and or you're going to just be experiencing your friendships that you already have are going to be becoming stronger, deepening those bonds, just feeling really connected and supported. A blessing on your love. Yeah, some of you are going to be summoning a love interest. Yeah, people are going to be paying attention to you because you're beautiful and they want to show you some romantic love. We also have a blessing for peace of mind. Let's ask more about this. Wheel of Fortune, if you've been worried about where your life is going, afraid it's not going in the right direction, you're going to start seeing that it is. Also, because we have these crows here, I think, and these crows are bringing these little colored marbles to her. You're going to be very connected to signs, synchronicities, omens, and they're going to help you see that, yes, life is moving forward in exactly the best possible way for you. So I feel like it's going to be making you feel very optimistic. We have the Lion reversed. I feel like if in the past, you've attracted lovers or love interests who are a little bit too self-involved, a little bit too egotistical, a little bit too much, I need to wear the pants, I need to be the boss. You're going to be attracting a different type of lover than what you have in the past. This is going to be someone who you can really respect, who really treats you with respect, who really sees you as an equal. And I think that's going to be a tremendous blessing. I think that you're going to have really great conversations with other people. There's just going to be a lot more social interaction with your friends, or like, building up friendships. And it's going to be very pleasant. It's going to be very pleasant. You're going to be having discussions with people and really enjoying those conversations. What else do we have? So we have the Seven of Cups reversed. Yeah, I think that you guys have been sort of like seeing what's out there romantically, weighing your options. But I think you're kind of realizing that a lot of the options you've been considering are really kind of garbage options, like, not to be mean, but you've been considering some people who really have not been the right choice for you. I mean, they're going to be the right choice for somebody, but they're not the right choice for you. And you're kind of just realizing, like, why am I thinking that these are options? Like, why am I doing that to myself? Why am I lowering my standards like that? You're just really going to be seeing how much value you have, and that you're not going to be entertaining options that are beneath you anymore. And that doesn't mean these people are beneath you, but as an option for you, they're not the right person for you. And so you're like, I need to clear out this excessive, stuff here. Like, this isn't what I'm needing. And that's going to be a blessing. We have the Seven of Wands. I don't know what you're trying to tell us, Seven of Wands. I think I'm getting it. I think some of you have had friendships where, like, you felt like you had to defend yourself too much because you were different in some way. Ooh, Wheel of Fortune coming up a second time. Yeah, and this is about communication too. They all have books in their hands. You're going to be finding friendships with people who just understand you more, where you don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to defend your belief system or your lifestyle or whatever it is that other people haven't been understanding about you before. You'll be finding people who are, same or similar to you, and it's going to be so refreshing. Kindred spirits. Wow, the Emperor. Yeah, girl. Yeah. You're going to be having like a real man, if a man is what you're seeking. But like someone who has like a very pleasant masculine energy. Like someone who knows how to use their masculine energy in a way that is just very appealing to you. It doesn't feel like, again, it does not feel like they're trying to dominate. They're not trying to be the king of the jungle. They're in any sort of negative way where they need to always be the boss. This is someone who has boss energy. They can take on a leadership role, but they do it in a way of respect and equality. Interesting. We have silence reversed underneath the Song of the Siren. And this is the Star. Yeah, some of you have been silencing yourselves, like maybe because you don't feel like people understand you or whatever, but you're finally speaking up. You're sharing your voice. For some of you, it's a singing voice. For some of you, it's just sharing your beauty with the world, like being open to possibilities. You know, being receptive, I feel like. Being very receptive. And knowing that you deserve to receive the best, not doubting that anymore about yourself. And then we have 5, which is the Hierophant, which in this Osho Zen deck is nothingness. Let me just read a little bit from the book here, because I can't remember exactly what. It says, being in the gap can be disorienting and even scary. Nothing to hold on to, no sense of direction, not even a hint of what choices and possibilities might lie ahead. You know, because like I said, I think you're letting go of the choices and possibilities that you know are not right for you, but then you're like, well, what else is there, you know? But it was just this state of pure potential that existed before the universe was created. All you can do now is relax into this nothingness, fall into this silence between the words. Watch this gap between the outgoing and incoming breath and treasure each empty moment of the experience. Something sacred is about to be born. Yeah, I think that you guys are emptying out your life of like these romantic choices that are really not for you. And there's going to be this moment of nothingness where maybe it seems like there aren't any options, but it's almost like an exhale where you're like, you know, you're not worried about it. You're not worried about what's going to come next or who's going to come next. And the delightful thing about it is it looks like what's coming next or who's coming next is going to be a really great option. You know, a true breath of fresh air. And I feel like you guys are just, one of your blessings as well is that you are seeing that your life is not ordinary. You know, like the humdrum stuff of your life is going to seem much more meaningful. Some of you might be practicing mindfulness as well, like you're washing the dishes or you're taking the dog for a walk or you're going to work. And instead of just zoning out and getting through some chore that you don't really want to do, you're really being present with the moment. You're stopping and smelling the roses, so to speak. And life is not quite so ordinary. You're going to start seeing the blessings more clearly because you're tuned into the very moment that you're in. You're going to have a more peaceful mind simply because you're not taking for granted all of the tremendous blessings that are all around you every day. So that was a really great reading, number 6. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.